Tell me when you're ready.
Can you hold something light up when I do the honor? Thank you, I got it.
All right. Good to go? Before we get started, this is Deputy Brent Miller with Washington County Sheriff's Department. We'll get him in there and wait till he asks me questions. What I'll do is I'll just go over the brief facts that we have so far, what we can release. And if you got any questions after I get done, we'll allow you to ask some of those questions. Okay? Yesterday morning, the Washington County Sheriff's Department contacted the State Police Post here at Sellersburg and requested our assistance on a missing persons case that they were working. The missing person was a gentleman by the name of Skylar Noggle, 35, from the Little York area in Washington County. He'd actually been missing since July the 16th, but his family didn't report him missing until Saturday, July the 21st, and that's when the investigation began. As our detectives went to assist Washington County yesterday, they went to a residence at 7707 East New Cut Road in the Little York area. While they were there, they were talking to one of the occupants of the residence and also the homeowner, and they gathered enough information to believe that Skylar Noggle had actually been there at that residence before he came up missing. After speaking to the residents there, they actually searched the property. They were able to gain a search warrant and actually search the property. During the search of the property, they located a human body in a wooded area near the home. Unfortunately, the body was too decomposed to be able to make a positive identification. It was also too decomposed to be able to make a determination on what the cause of death was. Tomorrow morning, Wednesday, in Washington County, there is going to be an autopsy performed to try to determine and get us a positive identification on the body, and also a positive, or rather give us a determination on what the cause of death was. Now, it's a great possibility that the body that was located is Skylar Noggle's, okay? But as you know, we have to deal in facts. And until we know 100% that that body is Skylar Noggle, we cannot say that it is. We will continue our search for him as a missing person until we get that confirmation from the pathologist who will be doing that work tomorrow for us. Now, one of the questions that I have been asked is, do we think that the neighborhood is safe? Do we think that we've got a mass killer out there? Is everything going to be okay? You know, can we positively 100% say that the neighborhood is safe? You know, absolutely not. Because at this point, we're working a death investigation. We really don't even know what the cause of death was. Obviously, if we get the information from that autopsy to be able to tell us, then that determination will change. And then we might be able to figure out, you know, exactly what we're dealing with. So what we are telling the neighbors is to be extra vigilant in that area out there. Make sure that you keep your doors locked. If you see anything suspicious, if you see anybody out running around that you think looks strange, or you see anything strange, make sure you contact us here at the Indiana State Police Post, or contact the Washington County Sheriff's Department to let us know so we can come and check things out. Okay. Also, what I want to say is that anybody that may have information on the whereabouts of Skylar Noggle or the located human body that we have, we're asking you to contact the Indiana State Police Post or contact the Washington County Sheriff's Department and give us the information on it. One thing we need to tell folks is to remember that you can remain anonymous as you give us the information. Okay? Now, what we'll do is we'll open it up for questioning now if anybody's got any questions. And then remember, we have to be very limited, obviously, on what we can tell you because the autopsy has not been performed. Okay? So it may be kind of limited on what we can answer. But if anybody has a question, yes.
You mentioned that we believe that Skylar was possibly at this home. Is there any circumstances that you'd be able to tell us about why we believe he was there?
Well, we think that they were acquaintances. We think that the people who lived at the home and Skylar, they knew each other. So it would not have been uncommon for him not to have been there. There was nothing, you know, out of the ordinary that we found out, obviously, that he was there. So that was one of the reasons why we went there, because we knew there were acquaintances, so that we were checking up on that.
Are you able to say, was the body, when you all found it, was it, you know, buried in any way, or was it just out? You know, how did you all find it?
Well, the only thing I can tell you about is that's one of the reasons why that we're calling it a death investigation right now. We can't release the way that we found the body, exactly where we found the body and all that. We're just going to have to stick right now with it that we located the body in a wooded area near the home.
The residents of that home that you all have been dealing with that you call acquaintances, are they cooperating with the investigation?
Yeah, I would say they're cooperating. We've had cooperation with the homeowners, absolutely.
Are you able to say why investigators were still out there today? I know the investigation obviously is still ongoing, but we noticed they were in quite a bit of armor and things when we were out there.
Well, here's why we're still there. We do not know the cause of death, all right? We do not know who it is exactly that we have located. So we have to maintain that crime scene because we don't know what type of evidence that we may be looking for until that autopsy is completed. So that's one reason why we're there.
Do we have an idea of the time of death, how long he was there until?
No, hopefully the autopsy will be able to tell us that. Tomorrow, once that's completed, we're hoping to get a lot of answers from that autopsy. Obviously, we have a lot of questions, so we're hoping that that autopsy will give us a lot of answers.
You said there was no obvious cause of death when you found the body. Can you say, was there any trauma to the body when it was found?
The only thing I can say is that the body was in a state of decomposition that we were really unable to tell, you see what I'm saying, much about the body. And at that point, obviously, in any investigation, you don't go delving into, opening it up and doing, a autopsy of the body there at the scene. We try to preserve everything so that it's there, when the autopsy takes place. So that's the reason why I say that, this autopsy is going to give us a lot of answers.
I know pending the autopsy, obviously we still don't know if in fact the body is Skylar Noggle, but did the family say why they waited multiple days before they reported him missing?
At this point in time, we really, don't want to comment on that. We just can really say that he was reported on July the 21st by the family to the Washington County Sheriff's Department as a missing persons.
People that live there suspects?
Right now, everybody's a suspect because we don't know exactly what we've got going on. We don't know who it is and we don't know the cause of death. So at this point, everybody in this room probably would be considered a suspect because there's just a lot of unknowns.
Families say they have any reason to believe he might have just skipped town?
Well, we are still looking for Skylar Noggle. Obviously, like I said before, there is a good possibility that we have located Skylar Noggle, but until we get that 100% proof, we will continue our search, continue to take leads and continue to follow leads on him, his missing.
Has he ever disappeared before, and is he known to law enforcement in Washington County?
I'm going to defer that to Brent Miller because he had been involved with some cases, so he might be able to tell you about that information more in detail.
We have never worked a missing person case on Skylar before in the past. Haven't had anything like this happen with Skylar in the past, but we do know Skylar Noggle. It's a large county, but it's a small community, and everybody knows everybody, and so law enforcement does know Skylar.
Why do you know him?
Again, like I said, it's a small community. Everybody knows everybody, and Skylar has had a couple run-ins with the law before in the past.
As to what, please?
I don't know the specific charges, to be able to mention those.
And you can get on mycase.gov and get those. If there's something there, you can type in his name into that, and it will come up. So.
Are you able to say just how far into the woods that body was found? Obviously, just a huge wooded area out there.
Yes, it is. It's a huge wooded area. The home is built obviously inside of the wooded area. At this time, we're staying away from specific locations, just besides the fact it was located in the wooded area.
When he showed up at the address here, did the acquaintances say that he was acting strange or acting scared or running from anything like that?
Right now, that's obviously some things that we cannot answer for investigative purposes. So we're going to stay away from answering anything like that. What we do want the public to know is that we're looking for information. If anybody was looking or had dealings with Skylar Noggle, if he was supposedly or if he was hiding from somebody, or if he was just out and about in town somewhere and someone saw him, we request that you call so we can ask you some questions and see what kind of information we get.
Do you all have dealings with this house or this address in the past?
Not that I'm aware of.
How about the people that live there?
I don't know that we've had to deal with those people either.
Anything else?
Jerry, does the rate of decomposition jive with how long this particular person's been missing?
Well, that's a good question, and obviously the pathologist will have to answer that. However, if you can remember, we've had 110-degree days, we've had rain, we've had wind, we've had, you know, more 100-degree days. So at this point, I'm not to be considered a professional to be able to say that it is or it is not. But the unfortunate fact about it is that we were not able to make the necessary notifications of positive identification that we wanted to.
Did the person have clothes on or any belongings around the body?
Yeah, we're gonna stay away from all that, obviously, for investigative reasons, because it is so early investigation, so. Now, what I will say is this, tomorrow, if there is more information to release tonight, if it's significant information, obviously, you know, I'll release it, okay? Probably you'll be able, I will not release a, news release until after the autopsy tomorrow, and that will give us hopefully some good information, to be able to pass on, and hopefully some information that you folks can use to help us, you know, find out exactly what happened to this body we've located in the woods. Okay?
With the decomposition, do we know if it is a male or a female body yet?
Here's what we're gonna do on that, and I'll tell you exactly why we do. We have to deal in facts. We have to deal in 100 percentiles, okay? So unless we can say absolutely positively, no doubt about it, then we're gonna wait until the autopsy, you know what I'm saying, comes back and tells us exactly, you know what I'm saying, who it is, the gender, and everything about it, so, okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. I figured it'd be easier, you know what I'm saying, like I said, to get everybody together instead of having to try to catch up with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So,